You may remember me from my television shows in the 1980s and 90s. And now I host a regularly live streamed virtual magic showcase featuring some of the greatest magicians in the world. Welcome to Dr. Michael's Friday Night Wizard Emporium. And welcome everybody to this edition of my Friday Night Wizard Emporium. What a great lineup we have this time. And I'm just debating whether we should just get things started because we have a huge lineup. Yeah, let's do that. I know we have waiting in the wings one of my favorite acts. I'd like to call him a technician, so therefore I will. But he's not only a technician, he's also very entertaining. And we're very lucky to have him on this show because he's quite a busy person. Let's put our hands together for the great Magic Mitch Koth.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Michael. Thank you, everyone, for having me back. And thank you, everyone who's watching at home. Hi, my name is Mitch. I've been with Open Mic and Michael before. Tonight, I'm going to do a demonstration with you guys all around the premise of psychology. So, psychology speaking, there's a whole field of this that we can get into, but I'm only going to address a few things today. I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see the table. So today I'm going to demonstrate a psychology demonstration revolving around choice, and that's going to be with this wallet right here. I'll get back to that in a second. The second psychology choice will be how distraction and the involvement of an extra stimulus will be a sort of a detriment to the viewing pleasure of what you're about to see. That will be in this wallet right here. And the last piece of psychology will be about the paradox of choice regarding a wallet and a few surprises inside. So for this, I would like to have a demonstration. Michael, could you get up 2 volunteers for me, please?
And Kevin, who
Have
can
a
we
look at, so
have?
Barbie. All right with Barbie. Just had Barbie in.
All right,
Uh,
we got Barbie. Hi.
and Micah is wiggling the wiggly fingers. So
Okay. We got Barbie and we've got Micah. All right.
Mitch,
My brother from
Mitch, how are you,
SoCal. What's
brother?
going on?
Oh,
How are
so
you?
good to see you, man. I don't think I'm as cool as Barbie, but it is still an honor to be on this panel with you, Mitch. It's a
That,
pleasure, man. Good to see you,
that
brother.
that's an awesome pleasure just to have you here, Micah. So I'm really happy that you're
Thanks,
able to
man.
make it. And Barbie, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with you, Barbie, then I'll get to you, Micah. All right. So
Okay,
Barbie, what
man.
I'm going to do is the paradox of choice here. So in this wallet right here, I'm going to show you, Barbie, you get a chance for $50. $50 right here. And yes, I do have the money, $50 for you. If you can correctly tell me, and I'll pull these out so you can see, I've got 3 business cards and nothing else in the wallet. 3 business cards right here. One is black, one is red, one is white. Okay, and I'll leave those there in view in a second. Also, Barbie, what if you could think of any suit that best describes you, what suit do you think best describes who you are? For example, if you choose clubs, maybe you represent health, because they look like muscles. Maybe if you choose a heart, you represent your health because that looks like a heart and heart is symbolized with health there. Diamonds represents monetary value. And then diamonds maybe represents something solid in your life, something that sticks, something that's concrete. So which of those 4 do you think best suits who you are?
Hearts.
Hearts. Okay. Again, I pulled these out from the wallet, right? And I want to show you that I'll set this out to the side so there's nothing else in frame. Barbie, we're going to do this right here for $50, okay? $50. We have a black business card. We have a red business card. We have a white business card. For $50, which color would you like?
The white.
The white one. The white one right here. Okay. I remember I pulled something out of my wallet, these 3 business cards, and they came from my wallet. What if I could tell you in advance so that I knew you were going to select white?
Yes, that's
Would you be,
good.
would you be impressed?
Pressed. Yes.
Well, I actually knew because engraved right here on the wallet.
Oh,
Yep. I knew it. I knew you would get it. So I get to keep the 50. But stay up because you are such a good sport. So I'll leave that still out right there. Micah, let's double it up. Let's
Yes.
double it up here. Your turn.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
this is the psychology of how money distracts you. And how money distracts you is I'm going to throw in another 50. Okay, and I think 50
Yeah.
and 50 makes 100, sir. So you would
Yeah,
potentially get a
that's very-
$100 bill in this case. And
Yeah.
if it doesn't work, then you two can split it. But
All
anyway,
right, Barbie. All right.
I'm gonna try to do my best to demonstrate this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and nothing else in the wallets, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So with this $100 bill, I'm just gonna fold it and just set it down right there on the table, okay? Now, if you were here, you
Okay.
could examine these half dollars. So if you could, but you're not. So you just have to examine them and, take my word for it. Okay. So
Okay.
4 half dollars. Ready? Here we go. In fact, I'm gonna get rid of this so that it distracts you. Put this back into the wallet, okay? Now, here we
Okay.
go. Number 1. Number 2. Okay. Number 3. And yes, I still have 3 half dollars. And maybe Barbie, Micah, maybe one of you, could you reach out your hand and put a fist like this for me? Just make a fist. Yeah. Make a fist, just like a fist. Cover your other hand with it. Cover your other hand with it. And you too, Barbie, you can participate with this. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in, and here we go. Last one in. Now, you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Make a fist, a big fist. Here we go. Count of 3. Shake your fist, shake your hand. That's it. That's all it takes. You see, money distract you because you were looking at your fist, you were looking at the money going in my hand. But what you didn't see is the real magic occurring. And when I put that $100 bill in the wallet, that distracted you. And if I open up my hand,
ah. Wow.
oh, wait a minute. Where did they go? Inside here, you'd hold out your hand, you would.
Beautiful.
All 4 half dollars. Yay. Okay, so that's how money distracts you. Thank you for participating, but don't go anywhere because there is still one more thing left to do. And I keep these chips out right here. I still have one more wallet, and I said how the paradox of choice also will play a part into psychology. And to do this, maybe both of you can help me out with this, if you don't mind. Micah, maybe think of a random number between 1 through 10. You got it? Okay, is it
Yeah.
odd or even? You can tell me.
It is odd.
It is odd. Okay. So it's either a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, right? So that means,
That's
Barbie, you're
correct.
going to think of an even number. And to generate as random as possible, you guys, as generate as random possible, we're going to try to collaborate both of those together. So for example, Micah, if you thought of 3, Barbie, you thought of 6, we're going to take the average of that. And we're going to get about 4 or 5, okay? So Micah, what number were you thinking of?
I was thinking of 3.
Oh, okay, spot on. I was right with 3. Barbie,
Yeah.
what number are you thinking of that's even?
4.
3 and 4. Okay, well, that would be 3.5. So we're just going to round up to 4, okay? Okay, is that all right? Unless you
Yeah.
would like to change that. We'll use 4, okay. So inside here, I had actually a prediction. I had 1 coin, and Micah, you originally said, I think you originally said 3, right? So there's a
That's
second
right, yes.
coin. And I have a third coin right here for another 50, and there's nothing else in the bag right there.
Mhm.
So good job on that spot on being three. Now, I have to tell you guys something. I have to tell you guys something that for this is for another 50. So we're adding 50, 50. Now this is $150. I mean, this is some pretty serious stuff we're talking about for $150. Okay, I'm gonna leave that right there in front so everything's in view. This is how the paradox of choice distracts you. For example, you see two different colored coins, right? Hopefully, yeah. If I put
Yeah.
one in my hand like this, and I take the other one and I put it in my hand, how many coins are in each hand?
One.
Well, you
One in
should
each
have one,
hand.
man. Yeah.
The little magic, a little paradox of choice. See, I put one in each hand, but I choose not to put that in my hand. I
Ah,
choose to transfer it over here to this hand. But that's where it just gets
beautiful.
started. You see, the choice is if you could choose, Micah, black or red, which one would you choose?
Ooh, Barbie said hearts, so I'm gonna go with red.
Red, fine. I'm going to take this black coin and rub it onto this coin right here, and a little bit of blow.
Wow, very nice.
Now, Barbie, I know that this is just a trick and it's not meant to fool you or anything, but you would probably consume like there would be something on the back of this coin, right?
Mhm.
And you might be right. So I would take this pen that's blue that I just had over here, and I'm going to rub it like this on the blue pen, and that too can change to blue.
Ooh, very nice.
In fact, I would give you the pen, so I'm going to physically give you the pen. There you go. Just pretend you're holding a pen, okay? And what I would like you to do is just take the pen. You would do this, and I would just rub it right there onto the pen, both sides here, and a little bit of magic. You would twirl it, tap it, snap it, and they would both turn
Ah,
blue. But that's the interesting paradox of choice. Red or blue, choosing 50 or $100, at the end of the day, the real psychology here and the real paradox of choice is you could have chosen any number, and you did. You could have chosen any suit, and you did. And I had these three 50 uh, uh, part pieces of poker chips right out here in the beginning, right? You named a suit, and it was heart, wasn't it? And
Yes.
then we determined out of the value, Micah, you said three, Barbie, you said four, so we just went with four. So if we put that together as a playing card, that would be the
four of hearts.
Yes,
four of
hearts.
hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, for the finale of the ultimate psychology test, this is how it works. We always had, in the beginning, these poker chips, but they were always the four of hearts.
Very nice. Very nice.
And that is the Four of Hearts. Thank you so much, Micah and Barbie, for helping me out with this demonstration. Thank you so much. Give it up for them, everybody. And my name is
Bravo.
Mitch. Thank you so much for watching my psychology demonstration. And back to you, Michael.
Awesome. Awesome. Magic Mitch. Wow. You never fail to entertain us. You never fail to astound us. Um, I was sharing this with everybody off camera before we went to air, the question I was going to ask. So I will ask you the same thing. Of the venues that you perform at, be they walk around restaurants or walk around bars or schools or whatever, what's your favorite venue and why?
Oh, great question. So, particularly for me, I love social gatherings. So, if there is an open house, I would love to perform at an open house party. If there isn't an open house party, then my second favorite would have to be assemblies, like school assemblies or wedding assemblies. Those would be my second favorite choice.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, I love those as well. I remember in the 80s and 90s having done tons of school assemblies. I love them because they're so well organized and the
Mhm.
kids are too intimidated to get rowdy and, jump off the walls, etc. So, yeah, I get that. I get that. let's say folks want to get in touch with you for bookings. How can they?
Yeah, so you can reach me on my website. That would be https www.magicmitchmagician.com. You can also reach me on Instagram, which is NorCalRunner89. You can simply Facebook my name, which is right here somewhere on this caption that says my name on Facebook. Or you can also send me a message on Facebook too.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing your brand of magic
Thank
with
you.
us this day. Magic Mitch or Mitch Koth, thank you so much from the US of A. Let's
Thank
put our hands
you.
together for
Thank
Mitch.
you, everyone.
Yay.
Thank you.
Always great. Always a great job, Mitch. And guess what? We are going to have a video of our next entertainer, and I believe he's in-house too, so we may be chatting with him in a little while. He's from the UK, and he's colorful, he's fascinating, he's the amazing Peter John. So let's put our hands together for Peter John.
Hello. I will show several different ways to reveal a freely selected card from a well-shuffled pack. You can see well mixed up. On Zoom, it's difficult to get a freely chosen card. So what I will do is ask you to say stop somewhere. Ready? Oh, too fast. I'll go a little slower. Get ready. Stop. What we'll do now is we'll count the cards and then you can tell me the number that we precisely stopped on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So there is your freely selected card. What I haven't mentioned was that I managed to get several Harry Potter playing cards. The faces are all twist type indices, and each card is a picture from the stories of Harry Potter. We'll now bury the chosen card in the middle of the pack. Cut the back a couple of times. 1, 2. The last cut precisely at the chosen card. Cut the back again, buried somewhere in the middle. I now am going to get the card selected with my little animal. The wind up clockwork rabbit. He will indicate the card he stops at by the tips of his toes. If he goes off the side, we put him back in parallel to where he goes off. But here he stops there. I have a dozen different clockwork animals, particularly useful for children, say 10 to teenagers, because that way it's a bit of a diversion from the actual magic and they can play with them a bit. And so we've got a donkey and a horse and a spaceman and so on. Again, cut the pack a couple of times. And the card is buried somewhere in the pack. Divide the pack into 3 smaller packets. Right, could you choose for me, please, 1, 2, or 3. 2. There, you stopped. Cards again. Give them a little shuffle. Have a cut. Could you give me a number between, well, to save time, you see, say 1 and 20. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so the card has arrived at your freely selected number. Before we came out, I looked into my crystal ball and I picked a card out of the pack that it showed me, and I put it in this envelope, which has been in full view the whole time. Of course, I took it out of a different pack of cards. Same value as the card. Thank you.
Peter John, the great Peter John from the UK. Thank you so much for joining us this day. I think that actually rhymes. I love the fact that you used not a standard deck of playing cards. I mean, they are, but they look so cool, the Harry Potter deck. And you succeeded in entertaining us with those visuals. And oh, look at that, Alice in Wonderland. Haha. That's actually one of my favorite animated features. Ah, the Great Britain logo. Wow, these are all decks of cards?
Yes, well, supposing I'm at the British Legion or an army centre, if I'm doing young children, Alice in Wonderland, there's the Cheshire Cat. We have a steam railway preserved line, full size. So I quite often volunteer there to do the entertainment, usually around Christmas. And so we have a pack of cards with the steam engine on
Ah, very
and
nice.
the motif, which is on our badges. Normal pack of normal twist type faces for those. And so it goes on. There's several different packs for film. Example, very popular was Hannah Montana, and I managed to get a pack of cards for them. I have also a pack for magicians, Tommy Cooper. Unfortunately, in England we have Paul Daniels. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to manage to get a pack with his portrait on. I don't know if you issue a pack with your portrait.
Uh-oh. Nobody wants that. Nobody
Oh,
wants that.
oh, that would be superb. Never mind.
Oh, well,
And
you're too kind.
my favourite place to perform is usually stage magic. Now, no residency, so from place to place. Some large halls, some small ones. Last year we had a concert in order. No, sorry, year before when our king was crowned. So we had a coronation concert to raise funds, and that was in a village hall. Um, Second favourite, or maybe it should be now my first favourite, is performing on the Zoom. And I've done 2 lectures for the Magic Circle in London and appear regularly from time to time with unusual items of interest, tricks I made or tricks from yesteryear, old props. I call them antiques. They're not really, they're vintage, but they're 70 or 80 years old and still in perfect working order.
I love them. I love when you share with all of us your props, your vintage props, because in many cases they just don't make them. That's going to be a cliche statement, but they don't make them like they used to. There are still a couple of companies around that manage to maintain some semblance of quality, but I sure love, and it reminds me and brings me back a little bit to my early childhood when I was first getting into magic and marveled at some of these props. To me, the props, and I hope you'll agree with me on this, the props were as magical as the effects themselves. There was something very special.
Oh, I'm intrigued handling them and practicing and examining them and getting out a prop I haven't perhaps used for a year or two because I have to go to a repeat venue, so I have to have a different act. And I'm
Yeah,
sure the props that you sell are of the high standard that we used to.
absolutely, absolutely. Great fun. How can people contact you if they want to book you for something?
Well, you see my name here,
Yes.
peterjohn.co.uk. I'm afraid at the moment I'm mostly retired and I do just a few charity shows during the year. But I can always do a Zoom show if there's a special request or for a charity that desperately needs funds.
Absolutely. That's one of the wonderful things about Zoom. I mean, I love a live audience as well. Nothing can replace the energy and the responses. But I'm very grateful for Zoom because it does give us an opportunity to get out there and be seen globally in many cases. So, and that's how I discovered you because you occasionally come on the Open Mic Magic Theater well, it airs every
Once
Wednesday, and
once a
when they're,
month, probably.
yes,
Yes.
yes. So I always look forward to seeing you on that as
Now,
well. Thank you so
regularly on,
much.
sorry to
Thank
say,
you.
regularly on the Magic Circle in the London Monday meetings.
Ah,
Often after the main lecture, there's a chat, much as Open Mic Magic has. And I think I've been on every episode except for two since they first started that.
very good. Very good. Once again, I want to thank you, Peter John. Let's put our hands together for Peter John from the UK.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Peter John.
Thank you.
Yay. It's always a pleasure having him. And I'll look forward to his next performance, hopefully on Open Mic Magic Theater. I'm very excited to introduce another performer who is a semi-regular as well to the show. Let's say she appears or reappears every couple of months or so. And she's someone that I know that you'll enjoy. She's from the US of A as well. And let's please put our hands together for the great Ari Rose.
Thank you so much, Dr. Michael. So, my name is Ari Rose. I am a magician and mentalist based out of Orlando, Florida. And today, I want to show you I want to show you. I want to play with something. The theory of free choices and fate. I have a red deck of bicycle cards here, and underneath the cellophane on the front of this deck, I have a singular prediction. We'll get to that in just a second. You know, one of the most difficult things about being a magician is actually taking cards out of the boxes. It's never a simple task. You would think it would be, but it's always a little bit difficult. Especially for me, I have smaller hands. But anyhow, so you can see. In a second, I'm going to have Dr. Michael freely name any playing card. Dr. Michael, can you name a playing card for me?
I can. Eight of Hearts.
Eight of Hearts. Right there. Now, is there a reason that you chose the Eight of Hearts?
No, it was quite spontaneous. There was no conscious or unconscious reasoning.
Eight of Hearts is an interesting card in general because, obviously hearts are love. And eight is, well, it's a number that I find really interesting because, like, the Eight of Diamonds is my favorite card personally, but the Eight of Hearts is pretty similar. Anyways, you could have chosen any of these cards, but you chose the Eight of Hearts. Inside the cellophane of this card box, there's been one card the whole time. If you look, Eight of Hearts. It's the Eight of Hearts. That is all. Thank you so much. And this is an effect that I am putting out in the coming year or two with my partner, Rocco Colt, with our company Nocturne Magic. So keep an eye out for it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Ari.
Thank you.
Let's chat a little
Yes,
bit,
please.
wee bit. I love that, by the way. I love all the stuff that you share, all your own magic. Now, I made some notes because I'm infamous for having the world's worst memory, which is funny as a thought perceiver or perceiver of thoughts. I've got the
It
worst
happens. We
memory.
all forget things all the time. I forget things all the time too. I'm like, well, what was I doing? I walked into this room. What was I doing? Oh yeah, that's right. I was supposed to practice. What was I supposed to practice?
Exactly, exactly. So I noticed that recently, I believe it was last month, you were on the cover of Vanish magazine, which is actually published here in Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah.
Um, and so what's the story behind that? How did that become so?
So Connie Boyd reached out to me. I had been recommended by a few magicians. I don't actually know who recommended me for it, but I was very honored to have been featured and to have gotten to be a part of Vanish magazine and to have been featured in an article that I really got to express my thoughts on magic, the future of magic, how I think we can improve performance because like there are certain elements that I include that I've really, really enjoyed in both magic and having learned mentalism, also including those the psychology, the presentational elements into both my magic and when I do mentalism presentations. So I think it was a beautiful and amazing experience for me to be able to share that with everyone.
And we enjoyed it. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
I noticed recently as well on social media, one of my favorite magi's, if you will, Jeff
Yes.
McBride. I saw you working with him or doing something with him. What's the story there?
So the story is that I will be performing at a magic convention called Magistrum in Irving, Texas on September 18th through the 21st of this year. I'm very honored. Jeff McBride is a featured performer, and I'm also going to be performing as well. I'm very honored, as well as my business partner, Rocco Colt's also going to be performing, and we're going to be vending together as Nocturne Magic.
Oh, very exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting. Let's get that URL, that website of that business that you're
Perfect.
co-doing with Rocco. What is it again?
Yes. It should be www.nocturnemagic.com.
Nocturnemagic.com. Excellent.
Yes.
And say folks want to book you, how can they reach you?
You can reach me through Instagram at Ari underscore magical underscore life, on Facebook as my name, Ari Rose, or at arirosemagic.com. You can also email me, arirosemagic@gmail.com.
Excellent, excellent. Again, I'm so grateful, so thankful to have been blessed with your presence
Thank
again this day, this month. Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for Ari Rose.
you so much for having me.
Thank you. And I've been trying to show this for months, and I think it's very entertaining. Excuse me. I think it's very, very entertaining. Some of you will love it. Some of you will go, huh? But nonetheless, we are going to share a video with a magician. He's actually the husband of one of our regulars here, Robina the Enchantress. His name is David Pierce, and we're going to look at something. I guess you could say he's a real cut up. I'm not sure, but check him out from the US of A. It's David Pierce. And there we go. We'll speak with David a little bit later after Rabina's segment because they have a little bit to share with you about their business, etc. Once more, let's put our hands together from the US, David Pierce. Yay. That never fails to amuse me, not frighten me. I can't place my finger on it though. I think it's very funny. Excuse me. Hey, it's that time. That came up rather quick. Um, I'm going to attempt an experiment of the mind with my partner in magic and mentalism. I'm going to call you the great Cheryl. We're part of a team. We call ourselves Strange Gambits. And I forget, or do I, your name. What is your name, Cheryl? Your stage name with Strange Gambits?
Lady Chameleon.
Ah, there we go. Okay. And look who's there as well, Mick, your assistant, Mick. Thank you for joining us this day.
Pleasure.
Yay. Yay. That's always awesome to have everybody participate. So we're going to try this. I'm going to need one other person from our virtual studio audience, if you will. And it involves a play-in card. I'll share that much. And I'd like you, if you will, Cheryl, perhaps, I don't know if you have a slate or a piece of paper or whatever, something handy that you can jot down, perhaps the name of a playing card. It's the great Martin Duffy. Let's clap for him.
Hello.
Martin, how are you this day?
Hi,
It's
how are you
awesome to see
doing?
you.
Hello, ladies. How are we?
I'm doing well. Good. How are you?
Living the dream.
Aren't we all?
I love that. I love that. I'm so tempted to steal that line, but I won't. So, what I did a little bit earlier, Martin, and I just want to emphasize for our audience, we've prearranged nothing, Martin. Is that correct?
Nope, nothing at all.
Now you could be really bad and say, "Of course we did, Mike," but no, we did not. And so this is going to be quite spontaneous. It really is. I've made a prediction in the form of a playing card. But I've taken it a step further to prove that I knew you were going to name a specific card. And we're going to try that right now. And so I believe, Cheryl, you've made your prediction. Have you written that down already?
I'm not yet
Ah,
in
just take your time, but
process.
hurry. This is a Kreskin line. Take your time, but hurry. So
Okay,
excellent. There we go. We're good to go.
we're good to go.
So, Martin, for the first time, I'd like you to name any playing card.
The Seven of Hearts.
The seven, the seven of hearts. Any reason in particular why you did select the seven of hearts?
No, I just think it's not a common card.
I agree. I agree. I'm going to share with everybody my prediction. Now, it's not quite what we expected, but
Mm,
Cheryl, did you get it exactly right?
the big
Oh, we've
one
got the chroma
here.
key going on.
Hold on. I know I did. I had
You're
to get
doing your own magic. It is
another card.
the seven of hearts. She did predict
Yeah.
correctly, but I want to prove to you that I really knew you were going to say the seven of hearts, Martin, because on the back I've written that I would be off by one. So there we go. Thank you
Very good.
so much, the great Martin Duffy. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Martin.
Thank
Cheryl
you.
and Michaela, thank you so much. I briefly want to chat. It's an unabashed plug. I've just released a book on Amazon, and it is called Two-Person Telepathy for Zoom. And there's gratuitous mention of you, Cheryl, in the book. And I believe I've made reference to Michaela in there as well. I've also included a little bit extra by the great Tommy Burnett, the New York mentalist, the great New York mentalist, and
Yeah.
a few other people as well from our little band of merry people. So I really want to credit you, Cheryl, so much for your inspiration, and we're working on some new stuff as well, which we'll share with all of you over the next while on the Open Mic Magic Show. look it
Yes.
up on Facebook. It's every Wednesday on Facebook, the Open Mic Magic, of which I'm very blessed to be part of the troupe there. And thank you so much, Cheryl and Michaela, for helping us this day.
Thank you.
Yay! Yay! Excellent. My goodness, I'm looking at the clock on the wall. Yes, I'm that old. It's the clock on the wall, and it's saying it's time for our mate. Yes, it's John the Great, and he's our mate from the UK. Let's put our hands together for him. Yay.
John the Great, and I'm your mate. And today I'm going to show you some magic. Here we have a magic watering can, and here we have a jug of water. And now we need an assistant. Please put your hands together for Jake. Okay? And Jake is going to sit on my knee like that. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to pour some water from the jug into the watering can. We are then going to place a piece of card on Jake's head. We are going to turn the watering can upside down over Jake's head. We're then going to pull the card out like that. And then we're going to turn the watering can back over as such. And then we're going to pour the water back into the jug. And ladies and gentlemen, that's magic.
Always great fun. John the Great, let's put our hands together for him as well from the UK. Yay. And we're going to fly from the UK all the way over back to the US of A with one of my favorite entertainers. She's a regular on Open Mic Magic, seen every Wednesdays on Facebook, and we're very blessed to have her be a regular on our show as well. Let's put our hands together for Robina the Enchantress. Yay, let's put our hands together for the great Robina the Enchantress. Yay. And I believe we have her and her hubby in studio, or actually on location. How are you guys doing this day?
Well, we are doing okay. It is, whoops, I just turned off the picture. How are we doing today? Oh, busy. Busy, yeah. Putting
Apparently,
everything away, yeah.
you're coming to us from your magic shop, somewhere in the US. Is it Texas?
It's in San Antonio or North San Antonio. He said he, he counted the new stock was 396 items. Yeah, 396 items. So we're trying to figure out
Wow.
where are we going to fit them in here. Yeah.
I love that. That reminds me of, I think it was the 80s and early 90s when I had my magic shop. I felt like literally like a kid in a candy shop and loved getting those orders. A big order just came in today, didn't it, Rubina?
Yes, yeah. Actually, it came in a few days ago, and so, but today is the day we have to stock the shop. Yes.
Ah, very, very good. Very good. It's
Yeah. Rearranged to make room for everything. Yes.
Oh, sure. That's half the fun. And then demoing is the rest. Making money from it, who cares? But it's more fun than anything, right?
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, David. I love that routine, and thank you for allowing me to show it on this show. It's it's great. The finger chopper is one of my favorite close-up illusions, and you've turned it into something very entertaining because because basically, it's done and you have to build up the suspense and all that, but you've gone wild with it. And I think that's really amazing. Not to mention your cinematography and editing skills as well. Very, very cool. So thank you for that. And Rubina, wow. Where do I begin? You're a regular, not only on this show, but of course on the Wednesday Open Mic Magic Theater on Facebook. If if any of you have been living under a rock or in a cave all these years, it's time. Check it out. If you think we have great magicians, that show also features amazing magicians, you being one of them, Robina. So I'm going to ask you the same question that I've been asking everyone this day. Where is your, and what is your, and why is your favorite venue to perform at?
My my favorite. I'm really a stage performer. That's what I like. Now I love the virtual shows too. I love it, but the stage I love performing at festivals and events like that. What about you? Said I'm very strong with children's parties, and the kids pay attention. No talking. I don't. He said because I don't speak, and so I'm very visual, and so that's my strength. But really, I perform anywhere.
Awesome.
Restaurants and stage, whatever. He said, but lately I've been working so much I don't have time to perform. So the only time I do it is when my arm is twisted and to make a video. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time to be on my show today. How can people reach you, Rubina? And what is also the address, the URL for your magic shop? Aha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, beautiful. The video dot TV.
Yes.
Very
And,
clever.
and that has links that take you to the magic shop and and then the other one, rabinamagic.com, will also give you links to this show. It'll give you links to the Open Mic Magic Theater on Wednesday and Magic Moments, which is our program on Roku on Access Network.
Oh, awesome. I'll have to catch that because we do on our smart TV, we do have the app, the Raku app. So we will catch that.
So, it said I'm always looking for old films. especially 16 millimeters, 8 millimeters, 35 millimeter film, and I can transfer them. And then I put them on Magic Moment. So, any short piece to a long piece, he prefers film. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us again this day, David and Rabina. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Stick around and watch the rest of the
Yeah.
show, if you will. Thanks
It's
once
always
again. Let's
wonderful.
put our hands together for them.
Thank you.
Yay! And they're, by the way, from the US. Whoa, I see our next guest. I'm cheating, yes, folks. I'm looking at my list because I do indeed have the world's worst memory. Although I keep forgetting that I do. But anywho, our next guest is from the US. Sorry, Kev. Um, I consider him to be a genius. I don't know if he would describe himself that way, but he really, really is. He comes up with brilliant ideas, also experiments of the mind, bizarre magic, which is the spooky side of magic and mentalism, and of course, mind reading. Let's put our hands together, please, from the US, from New York in particular, the great Tommy Burnett. Yay!
All right.
Huh. Very good. Tommy, the great Tommy Burnett from New York City. Wow. Tommy, how did you know that was one of, how did you know you're a mentalist? Hello, you're a thought reader. I was going to say, how did you know that that's one of my favorite routines that you've been doing recently? I'm going to ask you the same question that I've been asking everyone this day. I was just thinking of the willow thing, but I won't do that. Is the willow still weeping? Okay, I did it. Yeah. What is your favorite venue to perform in?
Yeah, I have two favorite. I do like performing on stage. Um, I've been performing on stage since I was probably 8 or 9. Um, but I also prefer parlor magic, which is kind of like being on stage, but only for about 20 people at the most, maybe 25. Because it's more of an intimate atmosphere, and I can, I feel at home making other people feel comfortable. Um, yeah, I really hate when people ignore their volunteers on stage as if they were props, um, because they're not. And so I find that I can do a lot more when I'm within a few feet of people than if I were on stage. Although, yeah, my first love is um, being on stage. Because
Ah,
I'm a
very good.
ham. Because I'm a ham.
And guess
I'll
what,
be,
Tommy?
what's that?
I'm a kosher ham.
Ah, yes. Well, at least you're not bacon.
Ooh.
I
I
don't
love,
know.
I
I don't,
know. What are you gonna do?
I
What
don't
are
know.
you gonna? Uh, I love your stuff. You inspire me, you really do, Tommy. And you certainly know how to entertain an audience. You have years of experience. Not that you're that old, but I'm saying your oodles of experience really shows
I
in your
remember back in 1912. No, uh,
perhaps in another life, perhaps
yeah.
generationally, right? So, how can people get in touch with you should they want to contact you for a booking?
Well, that for a booking. Uh,
Whoops.
yeah. So uh, the operative word is if they want to, and if they want to, they can contact me here at TommyBurnett.com, mastertaboo.com, where I have all my own effects that I create, and you can send me an email, TommyBurnett1 at gmail.com, or you can call me. Yeah,
Excellent.
and that's my number. Yeah. So let's get rid of that. There we go.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And you're also a regular on Wednesdays, every Wednesday on Open Mic Magic Theater. Look it
Yes,
up on Facebook if you folks haven't yet seen it. You really should. Thank you once again, Tommy. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have you
my
here. Let's please put our hands together for Tommy Burnett. Yay. I see by my little cue sheet who's up next. It's a man who tolerates me, and I'm very grateful for that. It's a man who we believe and would like to refer to him as one of the UK's greatest mentalists. He also produces the show. He's the technical person that makes things flow. And yes, when I bumble and when I do whatever, it magically turns out regardless, thanks to the next person. Let's put our hands together for Kevin Peel from the UK. Yay.
Thank you, Dr. Michael. As you know, on this show, there's never any product placement, because I know you actually don't like people doing product placement. So I promise I will not publicize anything other than stuff that you want us to mention, which is your own material. Right, I'm gonna bring in a helper. Holly. There we go. Hi there, Holly. Good to see you again.
How are you?
Yeah. Before we move on to what we're going to do, I just I've got these flashcards, and I'm going to give them a really good shuffle so you know that they're not in any specific order. I'm just in a silly mood tonight. I don't know what's up with me. Holly, I messaged you earlier and I said, don't show us. I said, just get together a selection of coins. Now, I know we've got some people from the UK in the audience, so I have done a little translation chart for people so they can understand your crazy American money. You have a 1 cent, which for historical reasons you still call a penny.
Yes.
You've got a nickel, which is 5 cents. You've got a dime, which is 10 cents. Quarter, 25 cents. Half dollar, very badly written. 50 cents, and I couldn't be bothered to write it again. Dollar is a dollar. So that's the concept. And you've got a selection of those. Now, I don't want to know what you've got, but I just want you to pick one up, yeah? And don't show any coin, and hold it in one of your hands, and actually mix it up from one hand to the other. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. Mix it up from one hand to the other. Go backwards and forwards, and end up in one particular hand. Okay.
Okay.
And then lift your hands up like that so I can see them. Now this is not anything magical or anything. It's just for me to try and find out how you think. So Holly, are you left-handed or right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
You're right-handed. So most people, the first time they grab a coin, they put it in their dominant hand. And let's have a look in your right hand. Let's have a look in your right hand. No, you see, so you're an alternate thinker. So, and we'll just give that, put your hands down one more time, and I'll just mix it up again. Okay, and this will really prove how you think. So bring your hands up again, and then just put one hand over the other like that to form a cross. Okay, so now most people put it in the hand that they want to hide, and they make that the hand that goes underneath. So let's have a look what you've got in the underneath hand. Absolutely nothing. So Holly, you are an alternate thinker, which is absolutely brilliant. So I now know how to move on to my next routine. Okay, so shuffling these was just a silly thing. It doesn't matter. I've just taken 3 blank cards. Okay, and you're going to, now don't let me see what you're doing. I want you to take a selection of those coins you've got and move them to one side of the table.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So you've got a selection of those coins, yeah, to one side of the table. What I'd like you to do is now add up those coins just in your head.
Okay.
Okay. And then just think of that total. Okay. So I've written total.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and divine your total.
Okay.
Okay. So let's hope you can see. I'm not shifting these off anywhere. It's just trying to keep them in shot all the time.
Okay.
Okay. So I've divided your total, I think, possibly. So, Holly, take out one of those coins and put it aside.
Okay.
By the way, what was the total that you got there?
My original total
Yeah.
was 28.
So, okay. So you move a coin aside.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And what I want to try and do now is I want you to think of that coin.
Okay.
Okay. Think of that coin.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. So, and finally, Holly, yeah? Finally, now this is the bit, the interesting bit. Okay. Okay. So, what I want you to do is I want you to imagine picking up one of those coins. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then spin it into the air.
Okay.
And then time is going to slow down and it's going to start spinning heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails in the air. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And eventually it'll suddenly stop in midair. Okay. With one side up. Okay. Oh, by the way, what was that? What was the coin you put aside? I was going to ask you about that.
The coin I put aside was a quarter.
Yeah. As a quarter. Oh, right. Okay. So the quarter. That's what I meant to say. So that's the quarter that's now spinning in the air.
Okay.
Okay. And it's stopped in the air now. So one side is head up or tail up, whatever, and it's just hovering just above the corner. So I want you to concentrate on that.
Okay.
Yeah. On that. Okay. 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 So now that coin is now going to go back into real time and turn over one more time and land on the desktop.
Okay.
So what can you see now? What's it showing?
So you want me to look on my actual table what it says?
No. So this is the coin you visualized.
Okay, just theoretically. Okay.
And you looked at it while it was in midair, and you concentrated on it, and now it's going to spin one more time and land on the table.
Okay.
So what's showing on the table now?
Heads.
Heads. Okay. So each time I wrote ahead of time, what I saw was happening. So heads or tails? Yeah. You said heads, and that's what landed on the table. The coin, you said a quarter, a 25 cent?
Yes, yep, quarter.
And the total that you added up was 28 cents?
Yes, oh my goodness, I have no idea. I have I had a quarter and 3 pennies, so yeah, 28 cents. Awesome.
Lovely. Thanks, Holly.
Thank you.
Great having you as always.
Thank you.
Right, let's just find Dr. Michael. There he is. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Kevin. That was wonderful. You actually had me on the edge of my seat, wondering if you were going to get it correctly, but you did, as often you do. And that's very, very exciting. I think you know that I love mentalism. That's one of my favorites. But what is your favorite venue of all the venues you've performed at? Which do you prefer?
Right. Well, yeah, I used to like doing close up I had a residence in a restaurant, and I really enjoyed that. And that was knocked for six, as we say here, with the cricket reference, or struck out of the ballpark, possibly in in I don't know, in your side of the pond. With COVID sort of stopped a
Yes.
lot of the restaurant I was working in. Tried to reopen after COVID, never made a go of it. They said they wanted me back, but the business failed, so they couldn't do that. So then, having met and talking with Tommy, and Tommy came over, and we did some, stuff together and talked a lot. And I started thinking, really, what I want to do is stage work. I really would like to perform on the stage, and that's what I'm concentrating on now, and what I'm really enjoying. So,
Wonderful, wonderful.
awesome.
I love it as well, and I love the live experience as well. Obviously, we do Zoom a lot, so
Yeah,
and I'm very grateful for the fact that we have Zoom altogether, technologically speaking, and we can put out our shows to the world. I'm grateful for that, but there's no substitute for the live reactions, the live
absolutely.
experience
Yeah, yeah.
you know
Well,
and plus there's so many, if you will, mind reading effects or thought reading effects we sometimes can't do on Zoom, but
mm.
lends itself better to live performances. So I love the best of both worlds. I love the fact that we've got Zoom. I'm fortunate enough, blessed enough to be on your show and Rabina's show, the Wednesday nights. Yeah, yes, I have to mention it one more time. It's in the contract. The Open Mic Magic Theater every Wednesday on Facebook. There it is. Oh, you're teasing us. You're teasing us with that. And that's a load of fun. That is
It
great
is.
fun.
Yeah, yeah,
I must say I look forward to every week doing that, being included in the roster, etc. And I hope to continue as long as I'm
yeah.
breathing.
Unbelievably, that's been going for 4 or more years now. So,
It's incredible. Since
yeah,
around
yeah,
COVID, is that right?
yeah. Just yeah, we started doing that, and Tommy started with Omar Illusion doing. Oh, God, what was it called, Tommy? That original show before Tuesday Night Magic Theatre was.
Uh,
I'll
It was a
know it
long
as soon as you
name.
say it, but I can't remember. Yeah, doesn't matter. Yeah. Ah,
Well,
isn't that weird? Yeah.
I thought I saw a promo for it, or someone put
Mm,
it up. It might have been Tommy or yourself or somebody on
yeah.
Facebook, and it's like, what a great
Probably a Facebook
reminder.
memory, the fact.
Micah did that. I think it was
yeah,
the Tuesday Virtual Theater or close to that.
Yes,
But
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Excellent,
yeah.
excellent.
Virtual Magic. Yeah, yeah.
So let's say folks want to contact you for bookings for shows. How can they?
Well, all they have to do is do for me to do a trick with them. But what I thought would happen was, so those were the coins, and that was set heads, but that actually says
Ah, ah, perfect.
the
The
UK
UK Mentalist.
mentalist.co.uk.
Excellent, excellent. I want to thank you so much, Kevin Peel, for joining us this day, all the way from the UK, and for running tech, as we call it.
That's a pleasure, as always.
Thank you so much, Kevin Peel. Well, it looks like we've come to the end of our show. I want to just remind all of you who was on our show. We had Magic Mitch Koth from the US. We had Peter John from the UK, Ari Rose from the US, and we had the hilarious David Pierce from the US. Yes, hilarious. I said hilarious. Myself and Cheryl from Canada and the US. John the Great from the UK. We had Robina the Enchantress from the US, Tommy Burnett from the US, and finally, last but not least, certainly Kevin Peel from the UK. We're here the first Friday of every month. Just follow me on Facebook and you'll be prompted where to go and when to go. It's always free. My handle is MAJICK magic.mike.likey on Facebook. I hope you catch us then. And a brief Shout out to my show every Saturday. Tomorrow, April 5th, Magical People Live. I'm featuring a local magician from Vancouver, Canada, Yusik the Magician at 1 LA time, 4 New York time, and 9 UK time. Again, it's free. Go to my Facebook page if you want to join us. The Zoom link should be there. And I think we've said it all. I tend to babble on a lot, but nonetheless, I want to thank all of you out there for joining us this day. We'll see you all really soon.